Welcome, guys, back to Three Bold Takes. I'm Quinn. I'm joined with my co-hosts Freddie and Chase. Guys, we're moving on in the predicting 2024 schedules for teams across all across the Power Four. And today we're going to end up with the Purdue Boilermakers. Guys, I don't know about you. Purdue's always one of those teams that I keep like a semi-close eye on because they're always in competitive games or pulling upsets when you least expect it. Chase, what do you think Purdue's going to achieve in 2024?
Not much, Quinn. Not much, brother. Not much. Yeah, Purdue's never been. Purdue is like kind of like early 2010s Iowa State. They're going to get you some upsets. They're going to do some crazy things, but Jeff Brom leaving, there's just kind of been like I don't know. It's not been a good look for Purdue and their way forward in the Big Ten. Um, Goodness, I don't even know. Like this, I'm at the point where Purdue, it's kind of like, man, do you think about going group of five? I mean, there might be better competition for you. It's a joke, never mind. Just a joke, Kyle. But no, the schedule's tough this year. That's what I'm saying here, guys. Dude, you got Notre Dame on the schedule, you got Nebraska, you got Oregon State, you got Oregon, you got Ohio State, Penn State, Michigan State, and Indiana. It's not pretty, and the Boilermakers are not gonna have a good year. I've got them winning 3 games. I got them going 3-9 this year. They went 4-8 last year, so this is going to be a step back. Um, I don't see them doing much. That surprises me. They lost to Fresno State last year. They lost to Syracuse, Wisconsin. I mean, they beat Illinois, but they just got blown out by almost everybody that they played, except for Northwestern. So this year, I don't think it's going to be much better. I don't really have too much more to say about them just because it's Purdue. I think a 3-9 season, they're going to be the bottom feeder of the Big Ten. Fred?
Yeah. So one thing I want to point out for Purdue's 2024 schedule is 3 of their 4 toughest games are at home. Now we're talking Notre Dame, Oregon, Penn State are at home. They go on the road at Ohio State. Ohio State's a loss. I originally thought that they would go like 5-7. Whenever I looked at this schedule, I was thinking 4-8, 5-7, 5-7 on the high end. I think they pull off one of the upsets at home, just one. Now that could be Notre Dame, that could be Oregon, that could be Penn State. I don't know which one. I mean, it just depends on who those respective teams play before they play Purdue and have to travel to Purdue. That's the biggest thing for me. Now, Chase, you mentioned not a good season last year, 3-8. They got blown out a lot. They weren't in many close games last year. There were a couple, but not many. I got to make it a bowl game, 6-6. That's what I have them doing. I don't know how. I don't know why. I don't know what they're going to do to get there, but I know one thing: they're going to win 6 games. That's what I have for Purdue. I mean, you think back, you know, I think, let's see, 2021 was when they went 9-4. Overall, I think it was 9-3 in the regular season. Then they won 8 games. Last year they won 4, I believe it was. So I'm looking for a bounce back season here for Purdue. Now, it doesn't help that the Pac-12 teams are now in the Big Ten. Like, that just does not help to throw Oregon on their schedule. And drawing Notre Dame, man, that's just tough, dude. Like, if it would have been anybody else, and we're talking, to me, a guaranteed 6-6. But you draw Notre Dame. But I think we have a bounce back year if you are a Boilermaker at Purdue. 6-6, my record.
Look, I'll start with this. Indiana State should be a win. You should beat Indiana State. Let's move past that. Ohio State and Wisconsin, I don't see you winning either of those games on the road. I think those environments be too tough. You have no shot. You look at a lot of their road games, and Freddie, you hit on this. Oregon State, you could talk me into a world where Purdue wins that game. Oregon State is the first-year head coach transition. Michigan State, you could convince me that they could maybe pull that off. Same deal. First-year head coach transition season for Michigan State. A huge one to circle is the battle for the old oaken bucket with Indiana at the end of the year. I think that is a game that Purdue should be competitive in or at least win that game. In fact, I think that is a must-win game if you're Purdue. It's your biggest rivalry game, right? And then, Freddie, you touched on something else that I really, really love to point out, and that is Purdue at home is a crazy atmosphere. I think the Notre Dame game, Notre Dame's prime to maybe get upset in that game. They shouldn't. They're better. But you're talking about a rivalry game taking place in Purdue. That smells fishy, but that's not where I think it'll. It definitely won't be Ohio State. I don't think it'll be Oregon. I think Oregon's too talented. Same thing with Penn State. But there is a team on the schedule that I think's fraudulent, that people think is going to be an 8, 9, 10-win team.
Nebraska.
And coming into Purdue would be upset territory for the Nebraska Cornhuskers. All right? I'm just saying it now. That game, circle it. I've got Purdue being a 5-7 or 6-6 team. I think it hinges on 2 games: the Indiana game and that game where Nebraska comes into play Purdue. And I think that's where you see it happen. I think that's the magical Purdue upset is over Nebraska.
Before we close this out, I've got to say, one, I don't see anywhere on Purdue's schedule where they gain momentum and they can string some wins together. That's my big reason for going 3-9. Like if they had Notre Dame later in the schedule, you had a couple guys, you had some games you could pick up in a row. But I think it's a hiccup every single time. It's a road bump. And then second, guys, if you naturally watch our channel, if you watch our videos, most of them, and you do not appreciate Quinn's knowledge of rivalry games and what they're competing for, I do not know what to tell you, because that is the most insane knowledge I've ever seen in my life. I didn't even know that was a thing. And kudos to Quinn, and I hope you appreciate it as much as I do.
Chase, you not play for the Battle of the Old Oaken Bucket, trying to collect all the little rivalry trophies in NCAA?
Had no clue that was a thing, bro. I cannot even mind. That is insane.
Well, guys, I hope you've enjoyed our little side trek here to the Purdue Boilermakers and what we think they're going to achieve for this season. And I personally got them 5-7. Freddie, you said 6-6. You got Boilermakers to a bowl game?
Yep.
Chase, only 3 wins for Purdue? Come on, man. 3 wins for Purdue. That being said, I've been Quinn. I've been joined with Freddie and Chase. We're 3 Bold Takes. Guys, if you liked it, make sure to comment, like, subscribe. Just help us out with the algorithm. That being said, we're signing off, and we'll see